Defense.
Johnny Cisneros for Mr. Aceves.
And are you Mr. Aceves?
Sí, mi jurado.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we have an interpreter here. If you could raise your, excuse me, no talking in the box behind the court reporter. If you need to speak to your client while he's in the box, while we're on the record, you'll need to move to the other end. All right. Could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
Oh, no, that is so not right. You're interpreting. I'm sorry. My mind is in three different directions. All right. But you will tell the truth.
Yes.
I'll represent her. Your Honor.
You're going to represent.
I don't need to repeat.
Right.
I do, Your Honor.
All right. You're going to tell the truth that you will faithfully translate from English into Spanish and Spanish into English. So help you God.
I do, Your Honor.
All right. You can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Carmen Tarragón Nazáez.
All right. So this hearing began on September 14th. And before the court made its decision, I wanted to hear from a witness. And my understanding that witness is present. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. If someone would call the witness in.
The state will call Ana Flores.
All right.
Mr. Aceves can hear me from here.
All right. Mr. Aceves, are you able to understand my questions in English or no?
Pause right here. This is where tone matters. In Texas courts, casual statements about violence or substances are not treated casually. The judge is already signaling that words have weight. And when a courtroom starts focusing on language this early, you know this is not going to be brushed off as just talk. The real question is, when does a joke become a threat?
What the witness is saying, just pause a little bit. That'll make her job easier. All right. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I swear.
All right, you can lower your hand. If you'll state your name for the record.
Ana Flores.
Ana Flores.
All right, state.
Morning, Ms. Flores. You've introduced yourself to the judge. Can you tell her how you know Mr. Rodolfo Aceves?
Trabajamos juntos
We work together
Where did you work?
en Amazon,
in Amazon.
DX7. No, DX7. DX7.
DX7.
What did you do at Amazon?
Limpieza.
Meaning,
Is that what Mr. Aceves did as well?
yes,
How long did you work with Mr. Aceves there?
Como por unos de 4 a 6 meses.
between 4 to 6 months.
Did you spend each day with him?
Cuando nos tocaba trabajar juntos 8 horas.
When we had to work together 8 hours a day.
Who did you work under at Amazon? Was that someone related to Mr. Aceves?
¿Me repite la pregunta?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes, who was your supervisor when you worked at Amazon?
El padre de Rodolfo.
Rodolfo's father.
So during these 4 to 6 months, did you get to know Rodolfo and his father fairly well?
Yes.
And did Rodolfo ever do anything or say anything to you that was concerning or upsetting to you during the times you worked together?
Yes.
Can you tell the court an example of one of those times?
Como le gustaban las armas.
He liked weapons.
Cuando hicieron hicieron un simulacro, él dijo como, mira, es buena idea hacer por la matanza.
When they did like a drill or simulation, he said it's a good idea to do the shooting.
Or when you say a drill or a simulation, Were you referring to a fire alarm?
Una falla.
Yes, fire alarm.
When he made that statement to you, how did you feel?
Primero lo tomé como tonto.
At first, I thought it was silly,
Comenté con otra compañera
and I talked to another coworker, and
no es normal.
it's not normal.
Was there a time when you dropped off your child at school and he was with you?
Yes.
Did he say anything concerning you that time?
Bromeó diciendo que ya ahora sé a dónde voy a venir.
He joked saying, now I know where I'm gonna come.
Did he say what he meant when he said that?
Pues dijo como, oh, ya sé dónde voy a hacer la matanza, y nada más le dije, cállate, no hables tonterías.
This is the moment everything shifts. Notice how the witness describes it as a joke at first, then something not normal. That hesitation is powerful. In threat cases, prosecutors don't need action. They need intent plus fear. And once someone says they felt unsafe, the legal stakes explode. Ask yourself, if someone said that around your child's school, would you ignore it?
That the fire alarm occurred?
Un viernes,
Friday.
Did you work that weekend?
al fin de semana.
Not on the weekend.
During that weekend, what was your thought process after hearing what he said?
Más era tonto lo que había dicho.
That it was stupid what he had said.
Cuando llegué el lunes al trabajo,
When I arrived to work on Monday,
comenté con mi compañera
I talked to a coworker,
y me dijo, eso es algo muy peligroso y lo tienes que reportar.
she said that is something very dangerous and you have to report it.
Did you report it at that time?
Después vino el supervisor de Amazon que necesitaba hablar conmigo.
Afterwards, the Amazon supervisor came to me saying he needed to talk to me.
Was that supervisor different than Mr. Acevez's father?
Yes,
Did you have any concerns about reporting it, knowing that Mr. Acevez's father supervised you?
No.
no,
Now moving forward, do you have any ongoing concerns for yourself or your family after this is resolved?
Sí.
yes.
Can you elaborate on that?
Como que él piense que por mi culpa él está aquí.
I'm afraid he might think that it's my fault that he's here.
No lo hice con una intención mala.
I didn't do it with a bad intention.
Me puso en una situación difícil
He put me in a difficult position
porque yo a él lo estimo y no quiero que le pase nada malo.
because I care for him and I don't want anything bad to happen to him,
Ni a él ni a mí.
not to him nor me.
Trust the witness, Your Honor.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Hi, Ms. Flores. I just introduced myself to you in person, but we've spoken on the phone in the last few days, have we not?
Sí.
And I think we've
Yes.
spoken on the phone 2 or 3 times. And-
Yes.
And each of the times that we spoke, we talked about the same thing. If you felt that this was serious or if he was just joking with you. And I kind of remember, or unless I misinterpreted, that you didn't report it because he was the type of person that would joke all the time, correct? Something to that effect?
Sí bromeábamos,
We did joke,
pero Cuando él hacía esos comentarios, siempre comenté a él, eso no es normal.
But when
No,
he
it's
made
not.
that kind of comment, I always said, that is not normal.
And I,
Siempre le llamé la atención como una mamá o una.
I always called it to his attention like a mom.
Y yo no sé los pensamientos de cada quien.
I don't know anybody's thoughts.
and I believe we talked about that topic on one of the conversations that we had, did we not? And I remember asking you if you felt if it was more of a, if you had taken it as a joke or something like that, and you said you weren't really sure. And I'm just trying to be, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you weren't really sure if you were taking it seriously or not, if you would, yes.
No sé, no
Yes.
sé cómo lo estoy tomando él.
I don't know how he's taking it.
Okay. Now, he has been on bond for 16 months. In about 4 days, it'll be 16 months. And he was ordered by the court to stay at home and not leave the house for anything. And you mentioned a little bit about concern for you and your family. He has not contacted you, has he? Has
No.
anyone else contacted you about him other than me?
He hablado con su padre.
I have talked to his father.
Okay, and how did that come about?
Porque usted me habló y yo hablé con marqué a Rodolfo y le dije, me están contactando sobre tu caso.
Because you called me and I called Rodolfo to tell him I'm being contacted about your case.
Y él dijo, pues haz lo que tengas que hacer y que sea lo que Dios quiera.
And he said, do what you have to do, and God knows what happens.
Y él de su parte me dijo, no estoy molesto contigo.
And he told me that he was not upset with me.
So other than your personal fear that Mr. Aceves Jr. could be upset with you, there's no indication or nothing that has happened to you to put you in any kind of fear other than you being worried that he may seek any kind of retaliation, correct?
Me han ocurrido cosas, pero yo
Things have
no,
happened to me,
yo no estoy segura quién es.
but I'm not sure who
Okay.
it is.
But he's never contacted you and
No.
his father's not angry at you.
No.
Okay,
No,
and
no,
in fact, it sounds to me like his father and the family, because I've gotten to know the family, that they're religious. And do you believe that his parents raised him in the proper way?
I don't know.
Okay. And the last question I have for you, I believe would be the last question is, when I asked you what you thought about possibly him going to the penitentiary, and correct me if I'm wrong, I recall you telling me that you did not want him to go to the penitentiary. Am I correct?
Correcto. Yo creo que es muy joven
Correct. I think he's too young.
y a veces se nos hace fácil hablar.
And sometimes we think it's easy to just talk.
Y sí, él tiene una oportunidad. Yo estoy correcta. Yo
And,
estoy de acuerdo.
and if he gets an opportunity, I would agree with that.
Okay, no more questions, Your Honor.
All right, any further questions?
No further questions.
All right, I just have one question. So you mentioned under questioning that some things had happened to you. Do you believe that Mr. Aceves is responsible in any way?
No sé.
I don't know.
All right, thank you so much for coming down. All right, is there anything else from either side?
Just argument, Your Honor.
My client would like to address the court with your
Yes.
permission, Your Honor.
Yes. All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm not gonna ask her any questions. I want you to speak to her honor. Tell her what you feel We've discussed this. I didn't tell you what to say. Have I told you what to say? I've just told you to
No.
speak from your heart. Tell her what you feel, what you want her to know about you, please.
Mi jurado, en verdad quiero pedir disculpas por todo lo que dije y especialmente a los familiares de ella.
Your Honor, I really want to apologize for everything I said,
Especialmente a Ana Flores y sus familias. No quiero ponerse en terror y miedo.
especially Ana Flores and her family. I never meant to terrorize them or put them in fears.
Yo estaba simplemente bromeando y quería mirar su reacción de cómo reaccionaba y
I was just joking and I just wanted to see how they reacted.
nunca quería cometer ni un masacre ni nada de eso.
This is classic mitigation strategy. Apologize. Show remorse. Emphasize youth. But here's the tension. Courts look at credibility. Is this immaturity or something darker? When someone says they were just joking about mass violence, judges have to weigh risk to the public versus the benefit of rehabilitation. And that balancing act is exactly what makes this case so difficult.
Mention a event in which you went to for child school with her. Do you remember that?
Sí, fiscal.
Yes, the eighth.
And do you remember telling her that you knew which school to shoot up now after seeing that?
Your Honor, I don't believe Ms. Flores said that he knew what school. I believe she testified that he knew where to go. I think that's how she mentioned it.
All right. I remember all of the testimony.
Right,
My mind's a steel trap.
okay.
So, thank you.
Fue una vez, pero no recuerdo la dirección ni el nombre de la escuela.
I only went once and I don't remember the address or the school number.
But do you remember making that statement to her?
Sí.
Yes.
Did you have another coworker named Perla Garcia?
No me acuerdo su nombre, pero probablemente sí tenía otro compañero.
I don't remember his name, but I probably did have another coworker.
Do you remember telling a coworker that her daughter should kill herself when the coworker was discussing
No,
her
no, no.
suicide?
Can't do any kind of hearsay.
Judge, these are in the stipulations.
All right. And just so everybody knows, I've read the stipulations. I always read everything and read police reports.
Okay.
And I do it when I take the plea. And I also do it when it's coming up for sentencing. I read everything again. So I've read that and I've read probation's report. All right, but you can ask your question.
No, nunca he dicho a alguien que se debe que suicidarse ni nada de eso.
I have never told anybody that they should commit suicide or anything of the sort.
Do you remember in this case being interviewed by the police after this incident?
Sí.
Yes.
And do you recall discussing having researched prior mass shootings?
Es muy complicado. Es porque en YouTube siempre hay recomendación de noticias porque
It's very complicated because on YouTube, you always get a recommended news feed
en las noticias, en los canales de noticias.
on the news channel.
Y siempre hay school shooting, massacres y eso, y por siempre morbo.
And there's always mass shooting massacres and you have like a morbid curiosity.
Es algo que los miro, pero
And I look at them.
nunca estaba simulando si yo lo haría.
This is where digital footprints enter the courtroom. Today, browsing history can become character evidence. Even if curiosity is human in a case involving threats, it suddenly looks sinister. The law does not punish curiosity, but when curiosity lines up with threatening statements, it paints a narrative. And juries don't ignore patterns.
Explicar que era solamente por curiosidad.
And explain that it was just out of curiosity.
y no para planear nada.
and not to plan anything.
And do you recall telling your coworkers that the Uvalde shooter was a hero?
Sí, pero eso era por una reacción de Ana Flores.
But no, but that was just a reaction from Ana Flores.
Era una broma.
It was a joke.
No es mi héroe ni nada de eso.
He's not my hero or anything like that.
I don't have any more questions, Your Honor.
Any further questions?
Mr. Aceves, do you realize now that you said too much that can hurt you in your future?
Too
Sí,
much.
dije demasiado. No estaba pensando en las consecuencias que podía ocurrir y
Yes, I said too much and I wasn't thinking about the consequences it could have.
ya sí comprendo las consecuencias que voy a la cárcel y nunca ver a mi familia más.
Now I understand the consequences that I could go to jail and never see my family again.
Now, you've been on probation for 16 months. And
Counsel, not on
I mean
probation.
probation, I'm sorry, on house arrest for 16 months. Full house arrest. Have you ever had any violations during the 16 months?
No he tenido nada, hasta era bien precavido que no cometiera ni un error para que pensaban que yo iba a hacer algo.
No, I have not committed any violations. I have been very cautious, so you wouldn't think that I have done something.
And because of that, you've lost your credit rating. You've lost your vehicle, I believe. And correct me if I'm wrong in this thing. Obviously, you've lost your job. You haven't been able to go out to look for a job. And all this is correct.
Sí, es correcto.
Yes, that's correct.
And because of this, you've seen how something so stupid as saying something like that can affect you for the rest of your life.
Sí me puede afectar. Debo como casi $10,000 en total.
Yes, it can affect me. I owe like $10,000 in total.
En 2,000 en la tarjeta de crédito
2,000 on the credit card,
y 5,000 en el vehículo
5,000 on the vehicle.
y como en el tiempo eran como $3,600 por el GPS.
And at the time, it was like $3,300 for the GPS.
Can you promise the court, Her Honor, that she will never see you here again should she give you deferred adjudication?
No puedo nunca cometer ni un crimen ni ser un ciudadano honorado.
And I promise I will never commit a crime and I will be an honorable citizen.
I'll pass it with you, Your Honor.
Any further questions?
Briefly, Your Honor. Mr. Aceves, how many firearms did you own prior to this incident happening?
Solo era uno.
It was only one.
So if the police had found both an AR and a shotgun in your room, did not both of those belong to you?
No era una shotgun, era un air rifle.
It wasn't a shotgun. It was
No,
an air
air
rifle.
rifle, sorry. Air. It's a pebble gun or something like that. A pebble rifle.
Pellet.
Pellet, yes.
It was a pellet gun or something like that.
No shotgun.
When was that AR purchased?
En el mes de febrero.
Your Honor, interpreter and petition.
All right, if you'll repeat, please.
En el mes de febrero.
MS.
Oh, sorry. En
February, in the month of February.
Was that the same year that this incident occurred?
Sí, pero nunca fue intención de comprarla para planear una masacre y nada de eso.
But it was never my intention to purchase it to plan a massacre or
Tenía
anything.
19 años y quería comprarme una pistola porque cosa más me gusta mucho como mirar TV shows
I was 19 and I wanted to buy a gun because I love watching TV shows about
de como de zombies, como de The Walking Dead.
like zombies,
The
like
Last
The
of
Walking
Us y
Dead
eso.
and that.
Y ahí son uno que puede imaginar como que debes que estar preparado por cualquier situación,
And you can imagine that you have to be prepared for any situation.
aunque no puede, definitivamente no ocurre porque es ficción.
But
Pero-
of course not because it's fiction.
Pero pero no podía comprarme una pistola porque era menor de edad, debía que tener 21 años.
But I couldn't purchase a gun because I was a minor. I had to be 21.
Así que compré un rifle.
So so I bought a rifle.
No further questions.
All right. So are you saying you couldn't purchase a gun at 21, but you could purchase a rifle?
Así es lo legalmente que puedes.
Oh, no.
Yes, that's why you can say that's legally. what
Yeah,
you
no,
can
no.
do.
I know the law. That was sort of a rhetorical question.
Oh, lo siento.
I'm sorry.
You know. So are you currently 21?
No,
Still 20?
No.
yes. Sí, no, sí, mi jurado.
Yes, you're
All
right.
right. So a lot of people will say sometimes, oh, I've said before, you know how you say, I could just kill that person? And honestly, I don't know anybody who's ever said that about somebody else. So what were you thinking and why would you think this would be a joke?
No quería como hacerle que sí le voy a comentar era
I didn't want to make that comment. It was
son te diciendo para una reacción así.
just to say it for a reaction.
Okay. All right. So I will listen to your arguments, but this is what I want to tell both of you when you give me your argument. So my job as a judge is not like the Minority Report with Tom Cruise. I can't see into the future. I don't know what's going to happen. I know, State, you're asking for 10 years prison for a 20-year-old for threats. And I've seen cases where people have made threats against a single person and people offer them deferred or people offer them probation. And I know that's not you, but I've seen that happen. In this case, State, you're going to be asking me to send a 20-year-old to prison for something that I'm assuming you're doing it because you think, one, that he could end up committing this. But what I see is a 20-year-old, and if I send him to prison, and let's say I send him to prison for 5 years or 10 years, and he does all his time at the prison. So let's say he goes in at the age of 20, he's there for 10 years, he gets out when he's 30, they offer him parole, he says, no, I don't want parole. And so he gets out of prison at 30 years old, and he has no supervision, and he can do whatever he wants to do. Then we're right back here. I personally don't think that solves the problem that we have before me. And I will tell both of you, I've read all the stipulations, I've read everything. And based upon what I'm reading and the fact that he has no criminal history, 10 years is too much time for what he's charged with and for what he potentially was saying he was going to do, but didn't do. And maybe he was going to do it, but he was stopped before doing it. I don't know.
Now this is judicial philosophy in action. The judge is thinking long term. 10 years in prison might punish him. But does it protect the public? Courts are not just about revenge. They are about prevention. She's weighing something bigger. If prison makes him worse, does society pay the price later? This is not mercy. This is risk management.
It's not available. We're going to see about some type of, I don't know, mental conditioning or something. I would order that he not to have any possession of weapons. He would still remain on GPS. GPS would be full house arrest, then slowly, maybe he can get a job. then slowly lower down the conditions on that. I would have where he's not to appear or not to reside within a certain place of schools, that he would not be allowed to work or go to Amazon. That's what I'm thinking. And if there's a reason why I should not be thinking that, or someone has something potentially to change my mind about that, I'm more than welcome to hear the argument. But either way, he would be going into custody today.
Your Honor, you're much brighter than I am.
Oh, no.
And I appreciate and I respect your decision, and I think that's a good thing for him. I don't think he needs it, but if the court needs it, then I'm okay with it. I've gotten to know this young man over the last 16 months. And I'm gonna get emotional because I've gotten to like him because he really is, thank you. He really is a good young man. He really said something stupid. And it's not too often in my 35 years of being a lawyer that I get emotionally involved in a case. They tell you not to. But when you really believe in someone, when you really believe that they were acting stupid, for this to happen to them, it's like, what did you do to your life, son? And that's how I feel about him. I would have liked to have seen him just walk out with me. I know in my heart that you will never see him again, but I respect your decision and I'm okay with it.
All right. Well, the court's concern is obviously for somebody to even jokingly say this, there's something mental going on. And if I had a program that was a free program that was available where he goes into a mental facility and they work, they educate, I would send him there, but I don't have that. If somebody has that and they have where it's private or it's free or somebody's willing to pay for it for him, I would reconsider doing that instead of ISF. But I think right now, because part of my job is also to protect the public. And if I had a crystal ball, it would be great because I could say, this is what he's going to do in 3 years. Or if I had a crystal ball and I would say, send a 20-year-old to prison. And we all know prison life, even Bexar County jail life is not the best life. He's young, he's thin. We already know what's going to happen at prison, potentially, because everybody can't watch people 24/7.
Right.
And I am wondering, sending him to prison for 10 years, what is that going to do to his psyche? And how is he going to come back out of prison into society? And are we going to have an even bigger problem? So I'm trying to put some safeguards in place and then state if he violates GPS in any way that I'm going to give him, if he doesn't report the way he's supposed to, then the full 10 years is there. I will put in place that there, wherever he lives, if he's living with his parents, there are to be no weapons in the home. And I'm going to put in place sort of similar to sex offender registration, even though this is not a sex case, that he has to give probation, all the computer access, phone access, any electronic access, so that they can be aware of what he's looking at and what is happening. I just think in this case, 10 years prison for a 20-year-old, and I realize what could have happened, what may have happened. So that's where I am. And the reason, and I struggle with this case, and I thought about this case from when you all were first here till now about what potentially would be the right decision in this case. And it's a very difficult case. And I know it's a difficult case for the state. And state, I do know why you're asking for the 10 years, because something catastrophic could have happened. So I do understand.
And I respect her for that. And just one more thing, if I may. It's been comforting for me to know that he's been on full house arrest for 16 months 4 days would be 16 months. He didn't even walk out the front door. And I think that goes to show you that I feel that he's going to be successful in this program. We appreciate what you're doing for him. I just have one question. How long is this going to take? I don't understand. I don't know.
Probation will be able to let you know how long it will take for him to get transferred to state ISF. But again, if you and the state want to confer and there is some sort of inpatient cognitive treatment for him that is not at the state jail or not at the prison, you can let the court know. The court will consider that. But my thing is, he needs to be worked on internally with the mental that's going on. And I see there are some mental health issues, but DDRF and Mick, they say he's not eligible.
Right. I understand your decision, Your Honor, and I do respect that, and I do agree that some sort of inpatient time, if we're not going to send him straight to prison, is appropriate. I'm thinking back to what Mr. Porter had testified last week, that it remains to be seen whether this is someone who's done well on bond because
Yes.
they fixed the problem, or if they're doing well on bond because, as Mr. Osbus had testified, I've been cautious so you won't think I've done something. So I think that we do need as many safeguards as possible if we aren't doing prison, and short of that, to ensure that.
Well, my thing is we're going to do things incrementally, and we will have settings for this to come back to court. Once he's released from inpatient, we can have settings to come back every 60 days, and we can discuss where we are, how he's doing, and do it that way.
One more thing. I keep saying one more thing.
Yes.
I love coming to this court, Your Honor, because you not only think of the public, but you also think of the welfare of the people that are before you. And that's just something that you've earned the respect of all of us in Bexar County and anybody else that may know you, that you're just a wonderful lady.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to give these conditions and state if there are any other conditions you think would be helpful, just let me know. So we're going to do 10 years deferred adjudication. There is to be state ISF cognitive, and he's to be taken into custody today for that. Once he's released from state IS cognitive, we will set this, Vashawn, once he's released from state ISF, before he's released from the Bexar County Jail, let's have him brought over. Is that possible? Okay, well, let's do this. Once he's released from state ISF, we'll just set it for a hearing in here, and we'll call it a compliance hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
So once he's released, we'll do a compliance hearing to maybe fine tune any conditions that we need to fine tune. So I'm going to say full GPS. We'll waive fees
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I was going to ask.
or defer fees. And then Mr. Aceves, once you've completed the state ISF, or if there's an inpatient treatment through private means, once you completed that, we're going to come back and then we can address the full GPS. But my understanding from working in different treatment courts, you can't go from rigid to all of a sudden you're free. It's sort of like when you have children and you have them on this rigid schedule, then maybe you send them off to college and no supervision. So we'll do full GPS. There's to be no weapons possessed. And there's to be no weapons wherever you're living. So if you're living with your parents, there's to be no weapons in the residence. You understand? And to the Mr. Cisneros, if you could let his parents know, if there are weapons in the home, he cannot stay there.
Yes, ma'am. And Your Honor, he was saying that he owes like $3,000 or something in the GPS fees. Is there a way we can waive those?
Oh, we'll deal with that when we come back.
Okay, thank you.
All right, there is to be all electronic I'll say just items. So that means computers, cell phones, sort of like if he were on sex offender registration. He's to make sure that you all have all the information to look into those computers. So you're going to have to register all electronic items, and that's going to include the items that your parents have in the home. So if they have cell phones, iPhones, all of that has to be registered. You understand?
Sí, mi jurado.
Yes, Your Honor.
And all computers in the home must be registered. There's to be no contact with Ana Flores or any workers from his Amazon location, because I know people will order off Amazon. So none of the workers from his Amazon location. There's going to be regular reporting. That can be by Zoom or in person. I'm going to want random field visits, one time per month until further notice. And Vashon, if you'll let probation know when we have the compliance hearing, if that's going well, we can reconsider. There's to be regular UAs. And we will deal with proof of employment. Vashon, I'm not even going to put employment in right now because there's no way for him to get the employment. We'll put that in once we have our compliance hearings. Vashon, is there anything else he needs? Mr. Acevedo, I keep mispronouncing your name. I'm sorry. Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
Voy a ver todas las condiciones.
No, I will obey all the conditions.
All right, State, do you think there's anything else he needs at this time?
No, Your Honor, but Miss Ana Flores did mention to me this morning that she would like the no contact order to extend to her family.
Yes.
Based on the concerns that she mentioned earlier.
All right, and there's to be no contact with Ana Flores's family.
And for the record, Your Honor, I'd like to tell Mr. Acevedo something. And that includes your family, your mom, your dad, any family members or friends, okay? They cannot contact her at all, okay?
All right. And then I'll put in here, there's to be no contact with elementary, preschool, junior high, high school. I think they now call it middle school. If he decides that he wants to maybe get his GED or get a college degree, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But for now, there's to be no contact with any schools. All right. Is there anything else from either side?
No, Your Honor.
All right.
No, ma'am, thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, sí, mi jurado.
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Sí, mi jurado.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So from here on out, everything that you do, you're looking at potentially going to prison for 10 years. Do you understand?
Sí, mi jurado.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I hope that you're going to be thinking about what brought you here. Okay? And it is never funny or a joke to ever talk about.
And here it is, the core lesson of the entire hearing. Words create consequences. In the modern world, statements about violence trigger systems designed to prevent catastrophe. Whether he meant it or not stopped matching the moment fear entered the room. The judge gave him structure instead of prison. But make no mistake, one violation, and that 10-year sentence becomes real.
I've been
Pensando en las vidas humanas y
thinking about human life,
perdonar
and I'm sorry.
All right. Thank you. Thank you both.
Okay.
Humberto Chavez. Yes. Yes, you may. Thank you so much. Oh, you're so welcome.